Well, welcome everybody. My name is James Arena DeRosa. I'm the new state representative for Holliston. Such an honor to represent my hometown. I live right down the street. And these Humanitarian Awards, this is the 5th year that Holliston has been doing this. It's really exciting. And there's lots of ways that we honor service in this town, but this is somewhat unique, and it really speaks to those people in our community who care for others. And with everything going on in the world today and going around what's going on in the country, this is so important. It's such a blessing to live in this town. So I did have a chance to briefly meet the honorees before the ceremony's beginning, and it's such a great honor to be with all of you. Congratulations to the winners. I've heard a little bit, looking forward to hearing more, and I am now going to hand it over to John Cronin, Select Board Member.
Thank you, James. Good evening, everybody. Thank you, and welcome to the 5th Annual Humanitarian Awards. Started in the brain of Mark Aronian 5 years ago, who's one of Holliston's all-time best givers. The town recognizes at this time of year, as we approach Thanksgiving, the opportunity to look inward at our community and the people that we live with to find those that offer caring, compassion, and consideration towards others. This evening we have, each of us have nominated somebody to come forward. We'll start with Tina Hine, we'll go to Ben, and then myself would ask you to listen up as we tell you a little bit about their backgrounds. Tina.
Good evening. I'm Tina Hine. I'm the Vice Chair of the Select Board. I'm in my 2nd term, so this is my 5th Humanitarian Award, and there is no crying on the Select Board, but this is a special one for me, so I might pause for a minute to compose myself. I have chosen Barbara Egan Ryan this evening for the Humanitarian Award. Barbara served as an officer in the United States Army, retiring as Lieutenant Colonel in 2008 after 20 years of service. During her time in the Army and after earning a master's degree from Boston College to become a pediatric nurse practitioner, Lieutenant Colonel Ryan served as Deputy Chief of Staff at Walter Reed Medical Center from 2006 to 2008. These were challenging times at the medical center, and strong, enthusiastic leadership was needed. In this role, Barbara rose to the challenge with care and concern for those who worked for and were served by the medical center. She created a compliment program to recognize and empower the employees at Walter Reed. She developed a patient advocacy service to promote the highest quality of care for patients and their families. Barbara retired from military service and left Walter Reed Medical Center in 2008, but her efforts have had an impact throughout all Army medical facilities to this day. In her career, Barbara champions mutual respect and support for her team and her patients. This brings me to today's Humanitarian Award. These experiences as a healthcare provider and through her service in the military are carried over to the many volunteer roles Barbara holds in Holliston in our community. I recall the first time I met Barbara virtually on Zoom during the depths of the first full pandemic winter. I recall a difficult public hearing in which voices were raised and strong emotions were being expressed. Barbara took the mic and presented compassionate, articulate comments to the several hundred people on the call. I watched the tone of the entire hearing soften and turn back to the key issues. I recall thinking, this is someone special. This is someone who focuses on solutions. Coming out of the height of the pandemic and still new to living in Holliston, Barbara has done just that. Barbara volunteered to be a community parent representative on the Holliston Drug and Alcohol Awareness Coalition, where she adds her organizational leadership skills and pediatric nurse practitioner knowledge and experience to addressing the challenges of youth substance misuse. Like me, others notice Barbara's passion and dedication. With her permission, I will quote Holliston Youth and Family Services Director Jacqueline Weiner. Barbara has an unwavering commitment to fostering a safer and more informed community. What strikes me most about Barbara's involvement is her commitment to nurturing a healthy and informed community. As a parent, Barbara exemplifies the values we hold dear in our town: inclusivity, collaboration, and a proactive approach to addressing the challenges our community faces. And again, I'm quoting Jacqueline Weiner when I say that. I agree with her, though, wholeheartedly. It is no surprise, of course, that Barbara holds more than one volunteer role. She joined the Holliston Parent Teachers Organization and became involved in the PTO Mindshare program, holding parent educational events that tackled difficult topics impacting our children, most recently around mental health and adolescent health. Recognizing the need for time out of doors during the pandemic and having the vision to see how outdoor learning reduces children's stress levels, helps them auto-regulate emotions, and contributes to building self-esteem, Barbara brought forward a request to fund the outdoor learning space at the elementary schools in 2021. To quote Louise Chawla of the University of Boulder, Colorado in 2021, a leading subject matter expert on child development, connecting children to nature fosters well-being and a caring relationship with the living world. These are values we hold dear here in Holliston. Barbara cleared hurdles to bring this vision to reality. In collaboration with many other volunteers, local businesses, and school staff, including teachers, today the Placentino School Inner Courtyard is a whimsical garden of learning and discovery for all of Holliston's public elementary students, staff, and teachers. And earning the respect of her peers from these efforts, she was elected to be the PTO president this year. I think that at this point, you all can see what I see in Barbara Ryan. She is a devoted volunteer in Holliston with a clear vision to bring positive change for the health and well-being of others. She is effective, she is strong, she is kind. I am proud to present the Humanitarian Award to you this evening, Barbara.
I'm honored to be recognized. I really don't like recognition, but I will humbly say thank you to all of you for this and to the community that I moved to with my family 4 years ago and that has welcomed us. And we're grateful to be part of it. And some of my neighbors and friends are here. And I would just like to say thank you again to my husband and my children and my dear friends who here in the audience are the women who really created the garden. So I wanted to acknowledge them and just say thank you very much. And it's great to be a Hollistonian. Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Ben Sparrow.
Thank you, John. My choice for this year's award was to honor someone who has spent so much time in consideration of others. He has exemplified the idea of humanitarian and giving to his community with a selfless and respectful demeanor. My nominee this year is Steve Bradford. Saturday was Veterans Day. It feels fitting to honor a veteran for their humanitarian efforts in town today. Steve has led the Veterans Post and has recently retired from that position. We see him lead the parade on Memorial Day, behind the scenes on the holiday, as well as advocating for veterans throughout the year. Steve makes Holliston better for veterans, has made Holliston a better place as well. We can learn so much from Steve, and he works in the work he has done and how he carries out his efforts. Steve, our veterans have your leadership, humility, and experience to help them. We are indebted to you for all you have done for them and for our community day in, day out. You're able to connect on a personal level and understand the needs of our veterans and help to explain to those of us who have not served. You help bring people together in all parts of Holliston to honor and celebrate service to our community and our country. We thank you for your service and all you've given of yourself to the veterans and the people of Holliston. It's with great honor that I stand here to present my nominee for a Humanitarian Award this year, 2023, to Steve Bradford.
Good evening. Thank you, Ben, for nominating me. Thanks to the rest of the Select Board for not KOing my nominee, even though you guys tried to take credit for the other day. But one thing I learned from my mother's youngest brother was when somebody thanks you for something, it means you did something to help somebody. And his reply always was, "Thank you for letting me do that." You don't do any of this stuff in town for the veterans without help. And some of my colleagues are here tonight, my brother and sister veterans. Colonel, nice to meet you. Like to see you at some of our events, Veterans Day and Memorial Day. Don't want to put you on the spot, but now that we have a connection here. So, like I said, I don't do any of this stuff by myself. I've always had the help of other veterans in town. The 7 years I was commander of the Legion Post, I had Walter McGrath as my adjutant, and he made my life easier. You got to have that person to help you with. My colleagues from the pantry board are here tonight, and I thank them for being here. It's a joy to work on the things I get to work on in town, and I think my next one is we get our veterans parking spot over on Green Street coming up now. So thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be able to receive this honor, and have a good night.
Thank you, Stephen. This evening, I'd like to draw your attention to my nominees. Each year at this time, I reach out to members of our community who have personal connections to people in Holliston who are doing wonderful things to enrich someone's life. In the past, I've reached out to the Council on Aging, the library, and this year I reached out to our fire chief, Mike Cassidy. Chief Cassidy immediately introduced me to a couple in Holliston who have truly been doing amazing things. Now, on a year-long basis, I'd like to introduce you to Jonathan and Leslie Gerber. As we celebrate the 5th year of recognizing Holliston residents that have demonstrated compassion, caring, and consideration towards others, I want to recognize this amazing, selfless, and impactful work that the Gerbers have been doing for over 10 years. Both Jonathan and Leslie were born and raised in Holliston. They are now raising their family here in Holliston, and they have brought these 3 C's, as Mark Garonian called them, to their actions. They've created a wonderful nonprofit known as Holiday Dreams Foundation. This program is a way to give back to their local community. In partnership with the Jewish Family Services of Metro West, they initially created a program to bring holiday joy to children through gifts that brighten children's holidays. Since its early beginnings, the Holiday Dreams Foundation has grown from this small holiday-focused program to a year-long program that brings comfort, security, and magic into Holliston homes, to homes across Massachusetts. As the original holiday gift program continues to provide children in need the chance to celebrate, the Holiday Dreams Foundation also has provided more than 100 ready-to-cook Thanksgiving meals to Holliston seniors. In a great story covered in the Holliston Reporter in 2019 by Sherry O'Brien, she highlighted the Gerbers' generosity and their giving spirit to provide Thanksgiving meals to seniors. For the past 5 years, they've supported Thanksgiving meals, back-to-school events, and holiday gifts to more than 200 families in the greater Hartford, Connecticut area. During the pandemic, the Gerbers extended their compassion and caring towards first responders. It was at this time that Chief Cassidy was introduced to their genuine compassion and giving nature. They provided personal protective equipment at a time when they were in short supply. I'm sure you can appreciate at that time there was no greater currency than PPE for first responders. The Gerbers remained locally connected to addressing food insecurity through school contacts. They also discreetly worked with local organizations during the pandemic to address food insecurity at a time when mobility and those resources were a daily concern. Now, in a partnership with Morgan Stanley, the Holiday Dreams Foundation program is again looking to provide humanitarian relief to the children and families of Israel. Following the terror attack on October 7th, many children have been terrorized and traumatized. The foundation will be working with their partners to provide help and relief to these most deeply affected families. 5 years ago, I recognized Chris Shabbat from Arcadian Farms for all the work she did to support marginalized and elderly folks in our community. Chris shied away from any credit and in many ways epitomized the ideal humanitarian award recipient. They don't want the recognition. I recall Chris saying that her family was her role model for being kind to others. She remarked, "When somebody needs something, I just do it." Well, indeed, the Gerbers share the same qualities of just doing it. Jonathan and Leslie, thank you for all you do to make the lives of others better. We all benefit from your kindness, caring, and compassion, and it is my pleasure to award this humanitarian award to both of you. Come on up.
Hello. First, thank you for the board for this honor. This is it means a lot to us. Thank you to our children, our parents. You know, this is something we do. We started many years ago to kind of teach giving back to our children, and it actually gave a platform for the community to give back to underserved, underprivileged families in the area, in the neighborhoods, and in the Metro West. And so this program has grown not necessarily from just our family, but through the community. You know, this starting over the next 6 weeks is going to be a crazy time, but it's such a cheerful time. And now we allow the community to kind of help and give back. And so it's just great we're able to provide this. Once again, thank you for the town. Thank you to our family, and thank you to the board. Thank you.
So that will conclude our brief agenda this evening. You'll appreciate the select board has to go downstairs for our Monday evening meeting. We have some brief refreshments over there. So at this point, Tom, I think we can call it quits with HCAP. Thanks so much for covering that. Other than that, thank you all for coming. We look forward to seeing you all next year for the Humanitarian Award. In the meantime, have a beautiful and wonderful holiday season, including a great Thanksgiving. Take care. Thank you.